May bakbak pa, ayaw ko pumunta dito yung this time na kasi wala akong participation, so hindi sa ligaya. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Unite us to yourself in the bond of love, and keep us faithful to all that is true. As we gather in your name, may we temper justice with love, so that all our decisions
Pakudak pala eh.
Tadi mo itong bandang barangay o salamat to karama. Sabi na yan ang remedy
Urong.
marami nilang record. Dami na po
tao yan.
Palakpak! Huwag kayo mas... Lahat kayo meron ganun, pero...
Talagang every night kung mabasa ko yung paper, nababasa ko yung mga ilang ang casualty. Kasi yung sabihin ninyo na it was I who declared martial law. At ako yung nakutos dito na pumunta kayo. Tindihin naman ninyo na trabaho ko presidente because of the critical condition as assessed by your military and the Defense Department, I had to declare martial law. Otherwise, I would be a candidate for impeachment also.
First, this breaking news, CNN Philippines just learned President Duterte just visited Marawi City today. Let's speak to our George Cahilas. George, what do we know so far?
Well, President Rodrigo Duterte visits government forces here in Marawi City this afternoon. Joint Task Force Marawi spokesperson Joel Herrera says top defense and military officials were with the president, and they gave him a situational briefing upon his arrival before he met with the troops. Well, according to Herrera, with the president were Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, Armed Forces Chief Eduardo Año, also present there was Western Mindanao Commander Carlito Galvez, and Joint Task Force Marawi Commander Bautista. Now, Herrera says it was an intimate engagement between the president and the troops. He spoke before them, and he rallied them to continue the fight to liberate Marawi City. He says the mood was very nice, and the troops are on high spirits earlier, as the president gave them some relief packs, gave them some care packages. And he said that he even gave them watches. So we have yet to get further information on that. But the president, arrived around lunchtime, and he left before 5 in the afternoon. So Herrera says the troops are very happy about the president's visit, given that the president attempted to go here in Marawi City at least twice before he finally made it here. And according to Herrera, it shows that the president is very firm and dedicated to his fighters here in Marawi City.
So the president made good on his word, George, like you were saying. This is the third attempt of the president to go to Campo Ranao, the headquarters of the 103rd Brigade, right?
That's correct. Way back then, during his first two attempts, there were problems. The weather did not permit the president to come here, and instead, the one time he just landed in the 2nd Mechanized Brigade in Iligan City. But this time, according to Herrera, the president is very happy, as well as the troops, that finally he was able to visit them and check on their situation here.
And boost morale, I guess. George Cahilas reporting from Marawi. Some displaced Maranaos plan to assemble and march to Marawi City on Monday to air their grievances about the impact of a prolonged martial law in Mindanao. George Cahilas tells us residents displaced by the government's clearing operations against the Mauti group are complaining of difficult conditions in cramped evacuation centers.
Don't punish us for the Mauti sins. Yung kasalanan po ng ilan-ilan na otoridad, huwag naman sala yon ng 1 million na Maranaos living in Lanao Sur.
That's the call of some displaced residents of Marawi City as President Duterte asks Congress to extend martial law in Mindanao. Samira Tumawis of Ranao Rescue Team says they will push with their plan to march to Marawi City on Monday in time for the President's State of the Nation address. Tumawi says evacuees are already suffering and extending martial law will make the conditions worse.
For the Marawi evacuees, we want the House and the senators to listen that we want this to end, our torture and suffering, mentally, physically, socially, psychologically, pati spiritual po. Siguro naman ayaw niyo naman masiraan ng bait yung Maranao.
Displaced Marawi residents are complaining of health risks in unsanitary and cramped evacuation areas, not to mention the rising number of deaths and people getting sick as they are exposed to the elements day and night. As of July 16, the Department of Health says 40 evacuees have died of various diseases, and more than 880 others were referred to different hospitals. For those living with their relatives like Dr. Nariman Taha, they are concerned about securing their homes and properties in Marawi. She's among hundreds who lined up at the provincial capital every day to secure passes from authorities to allow them to check their properties in the city.
We know that is for our safety, pero kahit na for our safety, parang ang sakit isipin na you do not have free access to whatever is yours.
But that as well comes with risks. Stray bullets continue to hit supposed safe areas in Marawi, like the provincial capital complex, which caused panic among civilians in the area.
It's normal kasi habang lumalapit ka sa kanyang center of gravity, the more na magdidepensa yung kalaban. So, nakikita natin yun, na-anticipate na natin yun, yung ganong situation.
Tumawis explains they do not have plans of going back to their homes yet, knowing the city remains dangerous to civilians. They only wish to express the clamor of Maranaos for a better situation despite the ongoing war. From Marawi City, George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
The Senate and the House of Representatives will hold a joint session on Saturday to discuss and vote on a proposed extension of martial law in Mindanao. What will happen on Saturday? Our Joyce Ilas tells us.
Senators and congressmen will gather on Saturday at the Batasang Pambansa at 9 in the morning to hold a joint session. The agenda, President Rodrigo Duterte's request to extend martial law in Mindanao until December 31st this year. House Majority Leader Rudy Fariñas says the latest arrangement is lawmakers will have a security briefing during the joint session. Invited resource persons are military and security experts and other cabinet members who also briefed Congress at the onset of the martial law period in Mindanao. House Secretary General Cesar Pareja says, though, the joint session may be held behind closed doors.
Regularly, that's open, pero we have, siyempre, hindi natin maiwasan if they feel na for security purposes, they might require na mag-joint session, so mag-executive session.
After the briefing, a motion would be made to extend Proclamation 216, which declared martial law in the Mindanao Group of Islands. The House and Senate Secretaries General say a majority vote of the two chambers voting jointly, at least 158 of the 314 members of Congress, is needed to pass the motion. This count includes Senator Laila de Lima, who is detained in Camp Crame.
Kasi considered pa rin siyang senator, although she cannot vote.
Can she send her vote? Pwede ba siya
No. Under the rules, hindi.
Fariñas expects the joint session to end before the 60-day limit of the martial law proclamation lapses at 10 in the evening of Saturday. Lawmakers from militant groups, however, are asking Congress leaders to make sure lawmakers are given enough time and opportunity to ask questions during the joint session.
Na hindi lang dapat maglagay sila sa special rules na 10 lang ang magde-deliberate from lower house, 10 lang ang magde-deliberate from Senate, or 5 from minority, 5 from majority.
They are also opposing a closed-door session.
Ang usapin ng pagdeklara ng martial law ay hindi lang usap-usapan at kasunduan sa ilang mga matataas na opisyal, kundi kailangan open to the public ang debate at ang pagdidesisyon at botohan.
The militant lawmakers say they will oppose the proposed extension of martial law in Mindanao. But they are also aware that the president enjoys the support of the supermajority, which means the extension is almost certain to get approved. Joyce Ila, CNN Philippines.
But a number of senators have concerns about how voting will be done at the joint session. They stress this must be addressed as the 23-member Senate is outnumbered by 291 congressmen. More from Cecil Lardizapal.
A history in the making as Congress holds a joint session on Saturday, July 22nd, to pass judgment on the president's proposal to extend martial law in Mindanao. But pending the rules of procedure on the session, some senators express reservation on how it will go. Senator Ping Lacson has concerns on the voting process, as 22 senators are no match to the sheer number of almost 300 congressmen. Lacson says it doesn't make sense that the Senate is rendered irrelevant under a bicameral system. Senator Joel Villanueva shares the sentiment.
That's my concern also. No? We have to talk about it. Probably even before Saturday, baka tumawag ulit ng meeting ang ating Senate President or si Majority Leader. Kasi both of them are the ones talking about it.
Senate Majority Leader Tito Soto understands the concern of his colleagues on the voting process, but he says the Constitution is clear. Senate President Coco Pimentel agrees.
In the Constitution, in the 4 or 5 times that the votes of Congress is mentioned, or decisions of Congress are mentioned, it is only on the issue of martial law that the word jointly is used.
All senators are expected to attend the Saturday special session, except Senator Laila de Lima, who is detained in Camp Crame. Lawmakers also expect a lengthy discussion on the proposed 5-month extension of martial law in Mindanao. While she is unable to attend the session, de Lima issues a statement citing the Constitution provision which states martial law cannot be extended beyond a second 60-day period or 150 days until December 2017. But what if the session exceeds 10 p.m. on Saturday, the time when the martial law proclamation lapses? The Senate President has no answers pending the rules, while the Majority Leader has this suggestion to keep the time in check.
We're looking at the possibility of the time limit that are given congressmen.
Cecil Ardizabal, CNN Philippines.